Please like and subscribe to the Couch and the Rube YouTube channel. Also download podcast episodes wherever you get your podcasts. For sponsorship opportunities, email Jason at couchandtherube.com.
What do you get when you cross a know-it-all newspaper columnist with an awkward, unsophisticated everyman?
Yeah. Well, I'm just not sure about that right now.
Welcome to Couch and the Rube.
Welcome to Couch and the Rube, our Friday show, presented by our friends at Firekeepers Casino and Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app. You can download the app today, bet the NBA playoffs, bet against the Tigers, maybe against Flaherty, who's pitching today. Bet the French Open. Got some bets there as well. Or go down to Daisy's Taproom and Sportsbook off I-94 in Battle Creek and get the in-house sportsbook experience yourself. Don't need to go to Vegas. It's better right here at Firekeepers Casino. Jason, how you doing, brother?
Back to the white elephant in the room. They don't want to deal with the white elephant in the room.
I mean, Zion was a big deal because he was a huge guy, and I just broke my chair.
What's up, buddy?
I'm good.
How you doing?
I'm great.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do you respect Jeff Goodman?
I do.
Goodman, not Perlman,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I have my qualms with everybody, but I respect him, yeah.
2 hours ago, he tweeted that he talked to 10 NBA executives and got their takes on what these guys should do. He does list Jeremy Fears. Do you have a guess?
Yeah, I saw the
Oh,
tweet.
you did? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, that kind of ruins it.
Sorry.
You can't act at all? Or
I'll try that again. Let's redo that.
Right.
I'll redo that.
Graham,
yeah.
you know who Jeff Goodman is?
I do.
He
yes.
just tweeted this out. He said, I talked to 10 NBA executives and got their takes on what these guys should do. Jeremy Fears is on that list. You want to take a guess on how many NBA executives said that he should stay or go?
I am going to guess that 2 said he should stay in the NBA and
right, this
and 10. I'm making it up.
Stay with the original thing.
Sorry, because I already
so
saw it. Yeah,
10 said that he should go back to college.
Yeah.
All right, so that means he's coming back, right? So we can.
I think he's coming back. And
Couch said it here. It's so nice to have him back. Yes,
there are a few.
Jeremy Fears, it's great to have you back.
I don't look. He could. You
What?
just you never know. But
Are you up to 95%?
No, I'm staying. I'm staying at. I'm going back to my original 85%.
Ah, thank God.
So from 75.
Guys, that
to
was
85.
a scare, right? You guys with me? That was a scare. Now we can go back to champion Jeremy Fears Jr.
There are a few reasons for this. One, the one thing I've done, I've looked at a number of different like rankings and mock drafts, and not just the mock drafts, but like prospect rankings. And outside of a promise, which if you're a player and you want to trust a promise, go ahead. And look, there have been players who have done that before. A team saying we are going to take you in the first round, but I just don't see how he can be sure. Like, you can make an argument for Jeremy Fears as an NBA player who will have the sort of career that warrants being drafted late in the first round. You can absolutely make that argument. Mm-hmm. I do not see how, just looking at the different prospect lists and, different people that I respect and where they think different guys will go, that he can be sure he will go there or he will go in a favorable spot.
I mean, if Rafael Davis was a GM of a team, I'd be really scared.
Well, that team would probably suck, because he'd be taking all his boys. And, you're rooting for his goals are different than the MSU fan goals. And I'm not talking about Jeremy Fears here. Jeremy Fears' goals may be different to some degree too, but Rafael Davis. I'm not saying he's maybe needling MSU fans a little bit, but he's looking out for his boy, another player, right? So that's different thing.
Oh, he doesn't want Izzo to win his second natty.
But
Gotcha.
Fears was also in on our friend Jack Ebling's show.
He
right?
was?
He was, yeah.
Did Jack ask him?
He talked about it. Yeah, well, he talked about the decision and all that stuff. And Fears was pretty open to some degree about, it doesn't sound like he's made the decision yet, although I wonder that in his head. I think he's going to go through this entire process pretty much through the end of the month and meet with teams, and ultimately he's going to wind up back at Michigan State.
Jack got the exclusive.
Jack, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Did he ask him who shot him? I mean, that would be wild if
He
Ebling
did
asked.
He did not.
Wouldn't ask Max Boa.
I would give Ebling
why
a lot
he
of
was
props. We would.
Biggie Smalls once said, "Who shot
If
you?"
Ebling was asking those sort of questions, he would have some incredible
Hell
numbers.
yes.
People would be on.
I would tune in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ebling gone wild, just loses his mind, just
Yeah.
ask anybody. That would be great. That should be the bit of every guy that's still in this stupid business, though. If you make it to 75. Like, what's Stout talking about for 50 years on a show? He's still doing his show. It's amazing.
When's the last time you listened to Tim Stout show?
I have not in a long, long time. Years and years. I would tune into our boy Mad Dog, but for the first 15 minutes, because it was always my favorite radio ever created. But yeah, the Dean. I don't know. I just don't have an AM thing anymore, really.
AM transistor radio or whatever those are.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right. Is there an FM signal now I can maybe get? I don't know. There's so many commercials, too, with Dean. Anyway, what are we talking about? What's going on, man?
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're good.
Yeah.
We're going
are
to
we
dig
gambling on or
into we're going to dig into some Groovy Donut Twitter questions. Some really good stuff. I think today it'd be a good conversation. As always, you guys deliver in producing our show for us. But before we do, what we are betting, presented by our friends at Firekeepers and the Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app. Do you have anything you are betting this weekend?
I heard you say Rafael Davis is needling MSU fans a little bit, but I think you're needling us Detroit Tiger fans since you don't have any fandom or skin in the game, and I'm kind of sick of you and fucking Bob Nightingale with his constant updates every morning about how terrible. I get it. Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
The constant stats from Bob Nightingale. Anyway, sweating the Byron Nelson. I'm not calling it the CJ Cup. How dare the CJ Cup? The Byron Nelson. It's the Byron Nelson. I mean, no respect for Byron Nelson, one of the nicest guys, one of the greatest golfers, the ambassadors of golf, and you sit there and call it the CJ Cup. I get it. You have to have a sponsor, but it should be the Byron Nelson, sponsored by CJ Cup. Anyway, I got my bets going for those. I gave them out Norm's picks, but I'm trying to the NBA playoffs don't interest me, Graham, and the Tigers are so depressing that I can't. I mean, play the Orioles tonight. You said that Flaherty's on the mound. That should be easy money. I'm not betting against my favorite team. So tell everybody how your soccer bets and how you're going to bet against the Tigers.
It's one of the best betting weekends of the year this weekend. And I'll tell people why. Number one, it starts with Flaherty's on the mound on Friday night if you listen to this against the Orioles, and that's an auto bet. You may lose it at some point, but it's an auto bet until the Tigers take him off the mound. It's an auto
Well, he's
bet.
going to give up five earned.
So you
the
bet,
Tigers can't score more than that.
You got to bet a few different ways. One, the Orioles are minus 139 on the money line, right? And then I believe they're about the same in the first 5 innings line, which you want to also take. They're minus 130. And then the adjusted line, if you want to jump on that a little bit, with the Tigers plus, or the Orioles minus 2.5 is plus 235. Get on all three of those. Have some fun. As long as Flaherty's throwing up softballs.
But what's the number, though? What's the plus number to bet against your favorite team? Because you said Orioles' money line is minus 130-something. I'm not betting that because the Orioles are ass, too, aren't they? I mean,
Doesn't matter.
I understand that. But what kind of money are you laying down?
Flaherty's not a major league pitcher right now.
What money would you have to lay down is my point. Would
I'm
you
not-
lay down $136 to win 100 against your favorite team?
No, I'm talking about $25 bets here. Simple things, just fun, just have fun. I'm not, first of all, with baseball, things can go wrong. You remember a few years ago, the biggest line we ever saw maybe in baseball was this is the peak of the Tigers being asked, before they were asked now, but this is like the.
What decade?
And this is this decade, post-COVID. And they're playing at the Astros and peak Astros powers. And the Astros were minus 330 or something, which you never see.
Yeah.
You never
It's
see in
usually
baseball.
290 or something.
Even tops, yeah. And the Tigers went there and won. Because it's baseball, and the best teams lose a third of their games.
So we should bet on the Tigers to win tonight.
Not with Flaherty. No, it's
That's
almost
true.
it's an auto bet. It's just he's not a major league pitcher, and they keep throwing him out there. I don't understand why. You're telling me you don't have somebody in Double-A who's got a better shot than this shit? I don't get it.
What don't you understand? I mean, we have Javi Baez still because we didn't want to just pay him to go away.
He's not the-
and
he's not
Flaherty picked up his own option, the player option. We don't really,
It'd be different if Baez was a pitcher. It's like Maeda. I don't get. There's a certain point where you have to realize that these guys don't belong on a mound in a major league team anymore. And the Tigers,
Alex Cobb. But Scott Harris is a genius, though.
Tigers aren't there yet for some reason. I don't know. But there's lots of other stuff this weekend. If you don't want to mess with the Tigers, and I get that for a lot of reasons, it's depressing. French Open starts Sunday, which is really cool. So there are futures bets on the French Open to get on. I like, and you can find this line, especially on like the Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook, a few other places. Iga Swiatek you can get her about plus 225, which I think is about, I really like her right now. I think the way she's playing, I think this is her tournament. I love her quarter that she's in. If you look at the draw, I think she's going to get her quarter. I know Ostapenko often beats her and has a great record, and we'll see if Ostapenko gets there. I like Swiatek to win the quarter at plus 150. I like her to win. That means getting to the semifinals. I like her to win the whole thing at plus 225. I think that's great value. I think Mira Andreeva to win her quarter at plus 160 is pretty good value if you can get if you do the quarter bet somewhere. On the men's side, it's harder because there's no Alcaraz, and it's Sinner who's like plus 300 or minus 300, and that's just. I think he's likely to win this thing. That's just not a lot of a great deal of value.
Do you live bet Sinner at all? Like if he gets down a set or something like crazy, like you just still
if you see the number, yeah. The one thing with him is you want to watch for like cramps and stuff in the heat if he gets that. But he's going to be playing at night because there's no.
You have to stare at his thighs to wait for the cramps.
Well, here's the biggest advantage he has going right now. When Alcaraz is in it, they alternate who gets the night and day matches sometimes, and the day heat in France, it's supposed to be brutal heat while they're over there, is tough. But because he's the
dry heat,
he's the marquee guy, so he's going to be playing all at night, and the heat's going to be better. Casper Ruud at about plus 2,000. I like a lot. 20-1 is somebody, especially if you can get them on like an each way bet, which some books offer, things like that. It means you get some money if they get the final. But Casper Ruud would be my dark horse there. Soccer. I'm just derailing the show here and going on.
People like this part.
But do they? Yeah. I that's what I've heard somewhere along the way. There are a few things this weekend. It's the final weekend of the Premier League, and so you have teams that are done, not interested, on the beat, so to speak. You have a few games that matter. Tottenham obviously trying to avoid relegation. West Ham trying to avoid relegation. All those sorts of deals. You got to look at the teams that are done and that are partying. So, final game for Man City for Pep Guardiola and Aston Villa just won the Europa League. I'm telling you right now, if you can get that at minus 1.5, I like Man City at home this final weekend. Crystal Palace and Arsenal both aren't playing anybody, so be careful there. There are a couple bets in other leagues. I like Liverpool at home, minus 1. You can get that. Minus 1's about even money against Brentford. Final home.
What kind of a bankroll do you need to bet on soccer, though? Because like a lot of these minus 150 bets, like you always mention, like these.
Yeah.
Right, but you have to bet heavy in order to get some sort of return that makes you feel good.
I'm not saying minus 1. Well, minus 150. Yeah, I guess you do. Yeah, if you bet like 35, you get back 23 or something. I don't know. You got.
I know, and that's probably the smart way to bet. But
So anyway, those are the things I like most. There are some other things out there. I like.
Give them all.
A parlay with last thing.
Took me up on it.
In Spain. Get the over 2.5 goals on Valencia, Barcelona. Buy that down and parlay it with Mallorca to win on the money line, and you have an even money bet that I like a lot in Spain. So
let me see that plus.
Those are the things that.
Holy shit!
Anyway, if you're still listening to the show, we appreciate you. I just told
you to pay my mortgage here.
I just wanted to
soccer
bet.
bets.
I got a lot of stuff going this weekend, and I wanted people to be in on what I have going. It is a great weekend in the Premier League, though. For people who have never been a part of this weekend, Jason.
Yes.
It's not as cool as it would be if Arsenal and Man City were both playing for the title still. That's been decided with Arsenal winning. But the fact that relegation is at play in a lot of leagues, and especially with Tottenham perhaps going down or West Ham going down. Tottenham it plays Leeds this weekend. Sorry, West Ham plays Leeds. West Ham has to beat Leeds, and Tottenham has to lose to Everton. Otherwise, Everton stays safe. So get the 2 TVs out. Enjoy the Sunday morning.
Get the Wolf Blitzer package out.
Yeah. Anyway. So with that is what we are betting, presented by our friends at Firekeepers and the Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk.
Are you allowed to bring 2 TVs out now with the baby?
We'll find out. We'll find out.
Is this going to be the first weekend?
Actually, I won't have to ask. She'll be asleep.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she's asleep. I've got the morning.
If she were awake, would you have to ask?
Depending on what she was doing,
Oh.
I've got the morning shift though. So yeah, so it'll be me and Cora watching soccer.
Morning shift.
Yeah.
Wife's asleep.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
It'll be great.
All right.
It'll be good. Should we do we dig into these Groovy Donut Twitter questions?
I don't know. Do you have any other soccer bets?
No, that's it. That was rough. That was thank you for listening.
Eric Schultz. I know. Should we pause like 30 seconds for people to come back? Eric Schultz. It seems like if Fears does end up returning, it will be begrudgingly. Obviously, everyone on MSU's roster wants to be a pro, but if he does return, should there be any worry that his mindset of "I'm only here because I have to be" will affect how the team performs?
I don't think so.
Is that his mindset, though?
Correct. I don't think that will be. And I think those discussions will be had. I mean, if you're going to come back, you got to be all in. And I think he will be. I think he's a competitor. I think, there may be a day where you have to exhale and say, oh, this is a dream I've got to put on hold and I'm back here. But when you get back and you're into it, I don't think so. Because also, for him, just personally, he needs to have a great year. He needs to improve. He needs to be supremely motivated. I think he will be. Otherwise, his stock doesn't improve next year. And it may be a weaker draft, and being the same guy may come with a slightly better draft positioning a year from now. But if Jeremy Fears wants to be a certain first-round pick, and not just that, but have a long NBA career as somebody who's a rotation point guard, there are elements of his game that he needs to improve on. Now, he can do that maybe in the NBA if somebody wants to invest in him enough, but otherwise he should do that at MSU.
Eric, late on this, but congrats to Graham on being a dad. I'm sure you've been told all the cliches about how it changes you, how rewarding it is, etc. But I'll just say what I wish people had told me. It's effing fun, man. It's like most fun. Maybe not now for you, but it will be. Enjoy it, man.
It's pretty fun now, man. It really is, and I appreciate it, Eric. It really is. It really is.
Sounds like it.
You missed out on this, Jason.
No, I didn't.
With your illegitimate children that you don't know.
Yeah.
But
they'll come back around when they're 18. That's perfect for me.
Even when she's
hope they have a job by then.
When she's this small and needs you this, like she'll never need you more than she does right now, right? The core will never need me more. Like she needs for everything.
Yeah.
And so it's. I mean, yeah. Are there times that it's challenging? Are there times it's tiring? Yeah, but it's
and they don't remember it. Like they have no idea what's going on right now. They're not going to sit there and go like, "Oh man, I remember when my dad was sitting there eating pea soup and we had 2 games on the TV."
But there are still connections that are being made right now. It's pretty.
No, I get it.
Pretty outstanding. It's pretty outstanding. Yeah,
it sounds awesome.
You don't have to lie.
Dominic Graham, considering everything sucks on every level, maybe want to stop gatekeeping our feelings. Michigan won a natty. Our best player may leave. Oh, but Graham says to write Jeremy a poem and send him Groovy Donuts. No, everything sucks. And if you live read this, we're done.
Dominic, you can't bring up Groovy Donuts and Jeremy Fears and not expect a live read. You know the rules. These are like we're not done. We're not done. Because in many things in life, if you have somebody you want to convince to, whether it's Jeremy Fears come back or do something you want or just to like you or think fondly of you.
I mean, only if Jeremy wants to come back. Right, it's his decision. But I'm just here whenever he decides.
Groovy Donuts are a great way to do it. You got lots of open houses going right now. You got all sorts of they'll do graduation donuts for you. So you can, if you're hosting an open house or showing up at an open house, go to groovydonuts.com. Place your order today. Of course, 2 locations, Lake Lansing Road, East Lansing, and Williamston, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. Thursday through Sunday.
Next one from Dominic. Jason, will you read the following sentences in donut voice so I can properly hit my speed bag? Insane love for alma mater. Fandom chooses you. Fandom is mental illness. Jeremy Fears doesn't owe you a damn thing.
All right, let me ask you this. Of those 4...
Did you say the last one?
I don't know. I didn't say it like that, but that's Dominic's take on it. That's the tone of it. But my question is, which of those 4 would be most annoying if you were a listener to this show?
Man, they're all pretty annoying. Fandom is mental illness. Because that's a serious topic, Graham. And you can't throw fandom in there. People really are going through a lot with mental illness.
Well, there's lots.
Ask Jay Glazer, he'll tell you.
There's lots of ways of being mentally ill. I'm just saying fandom is one part of it. It's a good.
I mean, I'm so happy that Jay Glazer turned things around and he's an upbeat guy. But my God, it sounds exhausting being around Jay Glazer. Like I'm not like Dana White, where I'm not like I understand we all have feelings and stuff, but this guy, Jay Glazer, holy hell. I guess mental illness. It's just when you make something everything you talk about, like mental illness and mental health. Anyway, what are we talking about? Pick fandom is mental illness. Sorry.
Yeah.
Went sideways there for a second. All right. Dominic, My Perfect Couch's headstone had Ant Wright on to go full Hawaii spa about Michigan hoops during their natty run. Let Dylan Burkhart shit all over MSU on Spartan speak. Invited Nick Baumgartner to read our last rites before calling him a beautiful man. And the oatmeal story. You want me to pick one of these now?
Yeah, sure.
I don't know the Dylan Burkhart.
Did we have Dylan on Spartan Speak? I don't remember.
You guys have
that.
a guest on there?
Yeah, I don't remember. They might have done a Spartan Speak without me. I don't know. We haven't done one in a little while. But
that would be funny if Slary just picked it up.
He's like,
did it with Burkhart.
F this guy. Yeah.
I got to say the Ant Wright, though,
Yeah.
that's pretty fun. Like, because it was after the fact. I didn't really, in the moment.
People are so mad. And
they really were.
Two things. I mean, I like Ant Wright as a basketball mind, but he was way more of a homer on that than I anticipated. And when he said something about inject it into my veins or whatever it was,
inject it into my veins.
I was like, oh.
Him and Paul Davis.
Yeah, I did not see it coming quite to the level.
Paul Davis versus Ant Wright. That'd be a hell of a. Your mom's a whore. Inject it in my veins. Dino Spumoni, are you for or against college football playoff expansion?
Very much against it. I think.
Who is for it other than Petiti?
Right. Well, and
I mean, one person that you respect, I'm saying.
Some coaches, but yes. Here's
you know why they want it.
Correct. It doesn't make sense. And I don't again, this is a problem with the people in charge having very short-term views of things as well. It's not just I think it's pretty clearly potentially damaging to the long-term viability of the sport, which already has a number of issues. But what makes college football great is every Saturday that we're here talking about the game, it matters. Everything's big. There are big games. And I don't want to get to a point where the thing I didn't like about the 4-team playoff is where one game ends your season. I don't like that. Like, I don't need the regular season to be that meaningful. But there is a sweet spot where the regular season really, really matters. And I'm not saying if you have a bye and it's not, there will be advantages to being better or and whatnot. But if you have 24 teams in the college football playoff and you can lose legitimately 4 games, occasionally some teams will lose 5 games and go 7-5 and make the playoff, it's going to diminish the importance of the regular season a ton. And to be healthy, look at what we talk about the NFL at the end of the year all the time. Who's healthy? How many guys are even on the field? You start having that many rounds in the postseason, you're going to have guys, resting in the regular season once they've clinched playoff bids. You're going to have teams beat up in the postseason. That's going to determine so much more of it. You're going to have all sorts of NIL factors where you're going to have people holding out, I believe. You're going to have separate playoff contracts. If I'm playing half a season more in the playoffs, I need to make more money. The whole thing is a mess. It makes zero sense. Tony Petiti is a TV guy. He comes from the pro sports realm and television, and a lot of these guys, like, if you don't get what the college football is a little different as a sport than some of these others, and it's not my favorite sport, but it's a damn good one. And the things that make it special, they really, really are messing with. The things that make college football special are the on-campus experience, first of all, the tailgate, the community, the sense of community in a stadium, which they've already ruined with the fucker in the red hat who sits there for 4.5 minutes by having, I apologize for the language, we'll cut that out in post.
Whoa.
But by having 4-minute commercial breaks, that when you're in the stadium, you just sit there. And it is brutal. They've already ruined a lot of the in-stadium experience in that sense. And I think they've got to work on that. And there should be more creativity and thought behind that. And I'm talking about fewer but longer breaks. And maybe the TV folks wouldn't love this, but the problem with a 4-minute break, right, is you don't actually have time to run to the bathroom or run to concessions very easily. But if you could in an 8-minute break or a 10-minute break, so take fewer of them. Take it at the end of every quarter. Make it a 10-minute break. Run your commercials. Do whatever you're going to do. But the way they do it now, they've ruined the in-house experience. They're threatening to ruin the Saturday experience overall in terms of the meaning of different games. And I cannot believe that. I mean, it's probably going to happen because there's everybody in power is letting this happen or wants it happen or is out for their own self-interest. Coaches think this will save them and give them more job security. I don't think so. Because right now, here's the other sweet spot about 12. I do think with the 12-team playoff, getting to the playoff matters. Getting to the playoff is the bar. How I will judge Pat Fitzgerald, for example, is at some point he has to get Michigan State to the playoff, a 12-team playoff. And it can't take 12 years either. I mean, that's the bar. And it's hard to win a conference, and those things being less, an 18-team conference in football where you're only playing half the league. It's hard to win those anyway, and it takes some luck and scheduling and all that stuff. But the bar for success is a program like Michigan State is getting yourself into that 12-team playoff. It goes to 24. That's not the bar. Being a top 25 program is different. You can still, at a lot of places, continually get into the playoff and lose, and you'll get fired. It's not. I don't. It's just short-sighted. The coaches aren't that bright on this. I don't think the long-term I mean, Petitti needs. I mean, I really think these guys who are pushing this, and I don't know Petitti personally, and I'm sure he's a bright guy in a lot of ways. But the Big Ten in college sports would be better if he stepped aside and did something else. Would be better off without him. I really believe that. And I do not. I think this is for a sport that I think might not exist anywhere near as popular as it is in a generation. This is the sort of thing that can hasten that. We talked about the NCAA basketball tournament. You don't want to mess with like the thing that makes you great in college basketball. It's a niche sport until it isn't, because you have this great tournament. And if you're going to mess with that, you're threatening the one thing you have that makes you a major sport. In football, college football, what you have is, the playoffs fun. The playoffs good. Some of the games suck. Some are great. We get excited about it. It's fun to talk about getting to the playoff. But the regular season makes it. And if you threaten the meaning of the regular season, you're threatening the sport. You're hastening the decline of the sport that's already facing a lot of different. I don't get it. I don't get it. And I haven't heard one good explanation on any of this stuff in college basketball with the postseason. Or in college football with the expanding it. I have not heard one good explanation that can't easily be countered. It makes no sense. These people who want it should not be in the sport, and frankly, they probably shouldn't be in leadership positions in a lot of capacities, because ultimately, you could make me head of the National Darts League, and I don't know shit about darts other than when I get a little bit of a buzz. I'm pretty good for a minute. But ultimately, I'm going to lean on people, and I'm going to lean on the history of it and what makes sense, what's best for that darts league. That's leadership. That's the people doing it right now don't get that, and that means they don't get it in a lot of other areas, or they're being pushed for the wrong reasons or financial reasons in the short term. And ultimately, if football and college sports is desperate for short-term payment from things, short-term, a little more TV money now, bleed it out of people. A little more of this, a little more of that, just to get by, then it's screwed anyway. You gotta, if it might be the best thing for college sports if it can't afford everything, if they have to figure it out. If people all of a sudden realize, you know what, can't afford a $50 million roster, $40 million roster. We're gonna have to actually police ourselves, and that's just not where it's really frustrating to watch. So I'm very much against it. To get to your question,
do you think Petitti hears the pushback about this though, because he's very, I don't know, adamant that this is going to happen? And if you were adamant, like in your darts league, and you came out and said, this is what we're going to do, we're going to expand to a 24-player dart tournament or whatever, but then you heard everyone and their brother that you respect, I don't know if Petitti respects anybody, but if you heard that, you'd go, maybe we should think about this. Because like you said, I haven't heard one person that I respect that is going to sit there and tell me that the 24-team playoff makes any sense.
Yeah, It's a good question. I don't know.
That's what scares me about Petitti, to be honest with you. I don't mind having ideas or if you stand behind something, but if you're not going to listen to what other people are saying when there's a huge pushback on something, that's what scares me with someone in power like that.
It's interesting because if he had great reasons,
right,
I would love to hear them.
Yeah,
and if you could
say like a PowerPoint presentation at all, or
this is why it won't actually hurt. What we've got going that matters at the regular season. This is why it won't kill rivalries that matter. This is,
I mean, he's a TV guy, but you want to succeed in the long term if you're a TV guy. And is that going to happen if you have a 24-team playoff where your regular season shit and you're going to graduate, like you say, a generation? But if you go to 24 teams, I think people are going to lose their fandom for college football even faster than that.
Well, and let's take it from Michigan State's perspective, okay? Let's say Michigan State. Their program gets going a little bit, but it's a perennial 7-5, 8-4 type program for a little while.
Wow, what
right?
A day! Okay,
well,
yeah. Let's here. I'm gonna close my eyes and envision that.
Okay, say it.
It's a complete ass when I close my eyes.
Say it gets there though, and so you're one of those teams that's in the Big Ten on the cusp. year in and year out of making the 2014 playoff. But you have a year where you're probably in, but you get late in the year, and it's like, okay, people are going to get pissed off when that running back gets nicked in that meaningless late game at Rutgers or whatever. The problem is going to be like, it's just so much is going to be injury dependent, and so much of the regular season won't mean a damn thing once you're. I mean, there will be meaning for the teams that are trying to get in the playoff or trying to get a bye. It won't be completely meaningless. The early part of the season will be meaningful to some degree. But what's great about 12 teams is there are enough teams to make November, especially early November, meaningful for a lot of teams, but not so many that November loses its meaning because everybody's already in. And it's just a good. I've not heard a good explanation. It pisses me off. I tell people all the time, apply for every job. Right? These guys are not that smart. Some of them are. So, but don't ever think conference commissioner. That's above me. All I'm doing is sweeping floors. Bullshit.
Rod Wood,
right.
President of the Lions. I mean, he even says in his Wikipedia he wasn't, had no experience in this.
I mean, think about
unqualified.
Think about Matt Millen, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're applying for a job against Matt Millen, who took a zillion hits to the head, and then was hired to do something that requires thinking. Really easy to counter that and say, "Look, I think I'm smarter here." Anyway, that's
wow.
I'm a jackass in that sense. There's a lot of. Anyway.
Yeah.
But to your point, no, I'm very much against it, and it drives me absolutely batshit that there are people in power that think it's the right move and that don't explain why it is, and don't explain. It'd be one thing if. People said, what you're not seeing is this. Like, and I understand you worry about the regular season, but this is where it would benefit. This is where it would make the season better. This is where financially it makes a ton of sense long term for a lot of athletic departments and programs. And so it makes a lot of sense. There's a little bit we give up with this, but we're not hearing any of that. We don't hear shit. They don't. There is, it's coaches who think coaches are out for themselves, TV people thinking about money, and Petiti, who we'd all be better off if he never touched college sports.
Dino Spumoni next. With the majority of NBA coaches having no control of rosters, and when they do, it rarely works out, how is an NBA job better than a major college job with resources? You don't get to the conference finals, you can get fired.
Well, the contracts are usually a little more for the most part, and they're, but it's a fair question. The one thing I would say about college right now that's not as good as it used to be is, obviously there's the NIL component, but once you lose the momentum and complete faith of like the donor base in your school, you're completely toast because you rely on that so heavily to recruit now.
And you have to kiss parents' asses, which in the NBA you wouldn't have to, right?
Yeah.
Just the players. You have to kiss the players' ass, but
to me it depends what you like doing. If you don't, for some of these coaches, they'll tell you like, it's less relationship, more transactional, and so it's less time consuming in some ways. And if you don't mind that world, maybe it's better. It's a different job. And you're on the road a lot more. It's a different lifestyle. It's a good question. They're very different jobs. It depends what you prefer your life to be. Neither one is good for a marriage.
The dream next, Graham. I need you to expand on this fandom choosing thing. If I were to become interested in Premier League, do I just start watching random games and wait for my heart and soul to connect to a certain team? Is it inauthentic to pick a team because they have an exciting player? First of all, you shouldn't wait for the couch to tell you what to do. If you there's a player you like, then start gravitating towards that, right?
Yeah, well, I think you're onto something here, though. The first part. You cannot choose it. You can't sit down before the year. Although what I'm going to try and do next year with Coventry City, but you if you don't watch Premier League, you can't sit down and go, you know what, I'm a Wolverhampton fan, or which would be a tough year right now, but you know what, or I'm an Everton fan, or whatever it might be. But the suggestion would be this: if you want it to be true, and I'm not doing this for your own what's legitimate, so you can say you're a legitimate fan, but so you actually enjoy it, you got to watch like a Premier League season, and you'll figure it out yourself. When you look at the schedule, who are you excited to watch? Based on the players on the team or the style of play or whatever it might be, who do you like watching? And then start there. Or who do you relate to, or who do you find yourself rooting for on a given day? Like let it be pure. That's how you do it without choosing, I think, is you have to watch and then decide, along the way that, boy, every time these guys play, I find myself wanting to watch. Or every time they're in a tight game, I find myself rooting for them. and then make it legitimate. The decision to say this is what I'm going to do, that's just not possible as an adult.
Scott next. For Cohen Carr, what do you think he will measure at the combine with barefoot height and wingspan? Jax was 6'8.5", which is also dead on to listed him at 6'9", but some guys get listed from a half inch to 2.5 inches taller than the combine due to shoes being widely different among players.
I think Carr will measure at 6'5". I think he's a legit 6'5". I've stood.
It'll be a cold day in hell before I give up on Cohen Carr.
I mean, I've stood next to him. He's about 3 inches taller than me, so that would tell me he's 6'5".
You measured?
No, but I'm 6'2" with shoes, and he's I think I'm 6'1.5" without, and I'm just there are guys that aren't. There are guys you're next to in the locker room. You're like, that guy's 6 foot, or that he's not that tall, or whatever.
You look down on them.
No, but I'm just saying, no. And if anything, you look up on them. They're playing Division I Big Ten basketball despite being shorter than me.
That's true.
That's talent. Like, the guys I don't respect are the guys who are like 7 feet, and it's like, well, I could do that if I was 7 feet.
Jay Riemenschneider, what's the guarantee that MSU basketball is going to be top 10 good? Fears is damn good, but he probably can't be any better than he was the second half of last season. Carr is who he is. They lost 2 bigs who turned into legit players. The rest is just hope and development and freshman contributions.
Well, but that's what college basketball is, hope and development and freshman contribution. I mean, that's like you answered your question partly here. Like, one of the lines you said was they lost 2 bigs who turned into legit players, right? But nobody knew that Cooper and Jackson Kohler were going to become the players they did. Guys turn into something. That's part of the development. You don't know 100%. And if a guy doesn't develop, you can be and you get that wrong, it can absolutely hurt you. But they're really high on a couple of these places, guys, and especially Jervis and Medlock. I think people really like, and I'll be very curious. I think that has a chance to be a dynamic backcourt. But part of it is, year to year, guys don't stay the same. It's developmental years in life, developmental years in basketball. So there's no guarantees, absolutely, that MSU will be top 10 good. But I'd say this, they were top 16 good, Sweet 16 team, top 2 in the Big Ten. So you can argue, they were a 3 seed. You can say they were top 12 good this year. And if they were top 12 good this year, and they do lose 2 bigs, but, there's an argument based on all the guys they have coming back, the guys they have coming in and everything, that they ought to be at least in that range. And the question is, do they have the dudes? Do they have a position that holds them back next year? Do they have the dudes to take that next step? This past year, they had a position that held them back, and they were still a top 12 team. So if that is taken care of, and we don't know that for sure, but if that is handled, then I think there's a better chance that they rise into that next tier.
Next one from Jay. I have a coworker who's in his mid-40s and is a soccer fan. He even has a podcast. No, I don't listen. But he's a huge Tottenham fan. Should I have him listen to this show so he can hear you say Tottenham fans aren't real fans? Because his reaction would be hilarious.
I would just wonder how he became a Tottenham fan. One of my least favorite Tottenham fan becoming stories is when I hear people say, well, I chose them because I didn't want to choose like the best team, but I wanted a team that had a little bit of a tortured past. But, you chose a top 6 club resources-wise. You chose like a top 10, 15 club in Europe. You chose a team that had never been relegated in the Premier League. It might this year for the first time. You chose a power. I mean, you didn't, if you chose Everton, you chose Wolves,
that's
you chose
crazy.
West Ham, like, because you felt a connection. That's a little different. Tottenham, you're trying to find a team that's tortured, but not really that tortured. It's not real. I mean, it's.
If you had a coworker that had a podcast, wouldn't you just tune in and you tune in at least once, right?
Absolutely.
I worked with someone they did a podcast and it was about running, and it was one of the worst things I've ever listened to, but I did listen to the one that the guy did,
So one of the things I like to do when I find out people have podcasts, or even when they have me on their podcast that I don't know exist until they have me on.
You tell them that?
No, generally not.
I didn't know this existed.
But I'll later listen to another episode. I don't usually listen to the episode I'm on because I've heard the conversation, but I'll later listen to another episode because I want to hear how good it is. And there are podcasts like the Final Four is not on the schedule, which is a podcast. FFOS. Those guys are great, and they do a nice job, and they break things down. And I don't listen to every episode, but I do from time to time, and I enjoy it every time. They do a great job, and I'm glad I gave it a chance. Again, I think that's fun to do. There are some people who do great work with, and every show has a different tone, and you find people who like or you like, and That's with anything. That's what people. I mean, the fact that any of you are still listening to this show after that gambling segment I began with is really remarkable.
Really, the whole first 30 minutes of this. We really appreciate you still sticking around.
Thank you.
Shep next. Is Graham's hatred of Tottenham any more valid or authentic than American dorks that try to pick a European soccer team as adults and become passionate fans? I agree with you, Couch, that it's impossible for a grown man to just choose a team and say, starting tomorrow, I'm a huge fan of Team X. But isn't a true sports hatred the same way? And stop apologizing for gatekeeping. We need more gatekeepers these days. People that do clown shit deserve to be mocked, like grown Americans picking European soccer teams or Walmart Wolverine.
There's a zag. Okay. More gatekeeping. You don't hear that call very often. Appreciate you,
People
Shep.
like it.
Yeah.
Well, Shep likes it for a different reason. If you're the one being gate kept, but Graham Couch, you must be annoying.
But part of my hatred for Tottenham is based on it's not based on the club itself. It's based on the fans of the club and the I'm not saying, and the way they've come to this passion or chosen the club. So that I understand what you're saying, but that's why I've gotten there. And it started with one experience on a fan bus in 2014. I found them wildly annoying, and I'm sure if that had been a Arsenal bus instead of a Tottenham fan bus, I would have found them wildly annoying, and I'd hate Arsenal to this day. But it was Tottenham, and that's just the luck of it sometimes.
Chris, I'm a biased. What is this, a fucking soccer podcast? I've done 6 soccer things in a row. This is insanity. Okay,
I put them all together, and I wondered how long we would go before you bring it up.
Chris, I'm a biased Arsenal fan, but what is it with soccer fans rooting against us all season? I've got Man U friends saying they were rooting for City. Now everyone is pulling for PSG in the final. I can't fathom cheering for blood money clubs like City and PSG. That's almost as bad as rooting for Spuds.
So I get that. Who owns these clubs is sometimes a little not great, but
Epstein.
No, Epstein.
His associates.
It's not.
Is that who owns all these?
No.
Oh,
but here's the thing about Arsenal, and I don't mind Arsenal. I won a fair bit of money on Arsenal. I have no issue with Arsenal. They do not play a beautiful style of soccer, but I still watch a lot of the games. I don't hate them. It's not. But they are definitely the team. If I was trying to convince Jason to give soccer a chance.
this guy won't leave me alone.
Sorry, but I would say do not watch Arsenal. It would, because it would go. But watch PSG, and that's going to be a great game. That's what it is. I think most of it is style of play, and people don't like Arteta for whatever reason. I don't have a real problem with Arsenal, and the fact that Arsenal's Tottenham's rival. Fucking go Arsenal.
Hey Jay, does that soccer guy that you work with need a co-host for this fucking podcast? Maybe you'll listen to that. Skylar Verdon Couch, did you see what happened with Southampton and their spying? One thing I guess soccer is better at is quickly punishing cheaters and not allowing them to play in the playoffs, unlike the NCAA. Good on the championship for acting quickly.
So for those who don't know, Southampton, was formerly in the Premier League, got relegated, has been for a couple years, actually went up last year, came back down.
Yeah, we know.
Okay. In the championship, the second division, they were in the playoff, which is like to get promoted again within the championship, and got caught spying on training for one of their opponents, and it sounds like a couple other opponents, and the punishment was swift and huge. They got kicked out of the playoff. Like if they would have won to the Premier League, it cost them maybe $220 million or pounds, and now they're stuck for another year in the championship. They might have lost anyway, but they had a chance. And it was funny because I tweeted about this, and of course, a few Michigan fans got on me and were like, fucking A Couch, Homer, fucking whatever it is.
What?
But, it's the usual shit.
You let him talk to you like that?
But it is
raising your voice at me?
It is an apt comparison, and it is like if the Big Ten and NCAA had the cojones and weren't scared of Michigan the way that the EFL punished Southampton here. I mean, it may have been too harsh a punishment in their case, but it was swift. It was a great deterrent, certainly, and it just reminds you that some places are more worried about the integrity of their game than others.
The Professor. Jason, based on your current role as media member and history in the business, what has been the best part in going from behind the camera to being on camera and audio? What's the question?
Based on your role as a media member, as you are now, and your history doing this, what has been the best part of now being
Dude,
out
are you
front.
reading the question to me? I mean,
Well, how do
can
you not
explain
understand it?
I don't know. Like, what is he? What's the best part?
But
I've been in
because-
front of this cam. We've been doing this fucking show for 8 years.
His
What is he-
point, most of your
I
career.
love that you just read the question back to me. Like, I read it. I'm just saying I don't get what is he asking here. Like when I worked in local television or something. Like,
most of your career, before this show, you were a behind the scenes guy.
sure.
So the question is, but
we were still. I was on the air when I did Schuling's show and I did Stout show, and that's why being called a producer kind of annoyed me because when the person that's a producer is on the show most of the time or half the time, you're a co-host. So okay,
I don't think people knew that though.
Oh.
That's the thing. The people think that you've been mostly behind.
you.
So that's that. So here's the thing.
What's the best part?
Yeah,
I don't know.
the soccer questions. I want to get into something you just said though, because this does drive me nuts about, and I always hate this. If you're going to do a show solo, which is one of the hardest things to do, be it a podcast or radio show, I mean the amount of prep to do it well, it's a lot of work. You need to have a team. You really do have to have a team. But what you shouldn't do is then call it your own show, but then lean on your producer for half the stuff, half the takes,
Correct,
and make it a conversation. That's just ass. That's complete.
I mean, I don't mind being called a producer, but when it's just that's your sole title and the person just basically looks at you like that, it's like, okay, well, I'm on the show most of the time. Like what?
Because you need me to have
right.
banter.
Like Rico Beard when we did Spartan Beat, it was like, dude, I did half the lifting of this show, and it was like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Oh, my producer back in the fuck you. Anyway, the professor, if you traded your current vehicle in for Mel Tucker's Polaris slingshot, how would your life change?
Yeah, we don't have enough time for all of that.
If you want to hear us say that we're going to get divorced, there.
With that, if you showed up in Ovid tonight with the Polaris slingshot,
it would be on. Keystone light in hand, Jaeger back. I mean, it would just be. I mean, you can't be a normal human being and drive a Polaris slingshot.
No,
I can't drive that down fucking.
Yeah.
M21 here.
And my wife would be like, "Where's the car seat go?"
Right.
You know, like it would go.
Well, you're in a whole different vibe.
Yeah, it would be trouble.
Yeah,
So
I'm like, I got to hit East Lansing, dude. I got to get, like at night. I got to be a night owl now. Just drive this thing around. Like I'm a whole nother human being.
But if there was room for it, it would make you look like a pretty.
What is Audrey
guy.
Dahlgren doing here? It'd be just like weird things would all of a sudden start happening. Munfield Keg next. A few episodes ago, Rube mentioned that Michigan fan Jordan bought him a set of golf clubs. My question is, does Michigan fan Jordan need any new friends? All jokes aside, dudes should be able to do nice things for each other.
Absolutely. That's a really nice thing.
Yeah, that was for my wedding. Not only just bought me a set of clubs, we went and got fitted. It was like a whole surprise thing. But for his wedding, I did take him to a Packers game at Lambeau.
It's pretty badass.
We stayed in Wisconsin, stayed in Green Bay. So I did get him back. But yes, he gives me, like for where he works, we get great Lions tickets. So yeah, I've definitely won out in the friendship.
That's a good friendship.
We went to the Tigers home plate club. That was wild. Dude.
What's that like to sit there with you're talking about the seats that are right behind that you see on TV?
Yeah, right there, and you get to go underneath, and it's like constant food.
Is the food free?
It's absolutely free.
I mean, obviously
and there's
you pay
like
for the seat,
snacks. Like snacks are sitting on a shelf like they do at home, and you can go up and just grab whatever you'd like. It's endless whatever, and there's like unbelievable meats and cheeses and all sorts of
It's like all you can eat night at a minor league ballpark.
Right.
Oh my God!
I was just waiting for them to kick me out. Like, sir,
you can't be here.
What do you say? Ryan Rockwell. Okay, so the Tigers are certified ass. What's the best way to win some money off of them to make me feel better?
Buenos tardes. It is time for the Detroit Tigers Gambling Update with Gramanito Couch and Jason Need.
So I think there are a few options here, Jason. One is right now because they're in this horrible slump.
None are fun.
It's not fun, but if they're not fun to watch anyway. So I'm not watching the Tigers anymore as is. So they're just an auto bet. Every day I bet against them. Boom, boom. And eventually they'll get out of this slump to some degree and I'll stop. But until they do, I'm going to
boom, boom.
And as long as Flaherty's there, you're betting against him. Beyond that though, I think it depends if you have a bet like a season wins bet like I do, where I think I had over 86.5 wins and to win the division, right? Neither bet looks great right now. It's the over 86 wins almost dead, I would say already. The division's ass enough and things came together, who knows? But it doesn't look good. I mean, what they just did against Cleveland, were there any signs last week that the Tigers can compete with Cleveland down the stretch? Now, that said, we have seen teams.
You want to see me suffer? You want to just kick me in the shin and watch me cry? That's what you want.
You can find, though, out there, and I'll say I don't think this is on the Firekeeper's iCasino Sportsbook app, but if you shop around, you can find.
Is it your guy at Panera?
Nope. On reputable, legitimate sportsbooks, you can find a in-season over-under that it may still be 76.5. And while there's some danger in like doubling on the under when your over is 86.5, like they could middle that and you lose both, I don't think they're getting to 76.5 wins. This does not look like a team that's getting anywhere near 500. And so that's what I did. I went in a little bit on the 76.5 wins.
Can you imagine if you were a Detroit Tigers fan and you enjoyed this show and really hated soccer? Like, what is this show for you right now? I mean, like, you'd have to just fast forward, or you just give like, I'll see these guys Monday.
Yeah.
You know?
That's fair.
It's really brutal.
Yeah, sorry.
67.5. This is how you bet. All right, Richard Kane. How likely is it that Pat Fitzgerald suffers similarly, fuck that word, in comparison with Bob Chesney, the way Smith did with Cignetti? Speaking of Chesney, was he ever on Bat's radar? And if so, how close was it between Fitzgerald and Chesney? Well, because, of course, Couch asked him in their sit-down. Yeah. You asked Jay Bat that, right?
I've never done that. But so Bob Chesney, people don't know, was the James Madison coach after Cignetti.
Yeah, we know.
Had a really
this
good
isn't soccer.
Really good run. Right, he's out at UCLA
Follow
now.
The sport, yeah.
Yeah. So, well, not everybody does. So,
all right.
I mean, I guess there's always that risk. I don't know that it's going to come together that quickly for UCLA. I think UCLA's got some great challenges, but then you say the same for Indiana. But any coach who comes in the same year as you in the same league and has great success, there's always going to be that risk. Fitzgerald, Michigan State's got to worry about getting relevant again, becoming a sound program, and worry about itself. They can't worry about anything else. They can't worry about the Cignetti effect or any of that stuff in Indiana or what's going on there. I mean, Cignetti is lightning in a bottle, and the odds that it would happen twice and would happen with his successor, I don't, this isn't, I don't see it as being likely. But, there's always that risk. But people have to get out. I mean, Fitzgerald is going to be the coach at Michigan State at minimum for 3 or 4 years. And you don't want to wait that long for the program to make another turn that seems positive. So you want this to go well. And, just don't worry about other programs. Worry about Michigan State.
Richard Kane Graham, when jockeying for position in post-game locker rooms, have you ever contemplated threatening TV pukes a la Dick Young? Back up, or I'll put fucks on your audio.
I felt all of Fred Human. I've not done that.
Please tell Human that one time.
I've threatened to unplug people before.
Oh.
But, usually.
How did that go?
I learned
Is that three-prong?
You ever seen the movie, I think it was One Fine Day, Michelle Pfeiffer, Robert Redford?
Not in a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, right.
And she plays this, she's like a weather reporter, not really a meteorologist. I wouldn't say she's legitimately that, but like a weather reporter.
She's a woman?
No, because that's not how they frame it. She doesn't look like somebody who's gone to school for this, who's just like on TV reading the weather, and she gets discovered by Redford's character and winds up doing like serious news and they war type stuff. Anyway, wow. he
I'd rather watch soccer, I think.
Yeah, it becomes a love story, obviously. Speaking of people I would sleep with, both Michelle Pfeiffer and Robert Redford. But you talk about on my list, we talk about their wives.
Yeah.
We have like
if you were to go gay,
Robert Redford is definitely on there.
Even though he's dead?
Well, maybe not his corpse, but pre-death. Anyway.
Wow.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But there's a scene in that where she's a fairly green young reporter and she's getting bumped away. And he says, you just got to, you got to get in there. You got to. And I learned really, so I remember that movie. And one of the first times I ever had experience with, I covered the MAC. So there weren't a lot of scrums early on. But then when I was covering the Super Bowl in 2005 in Detroit, wasn't like the Gazette was sending me somewhere else when I was in Kalamazoo, but it was in Detroit. So I spent a week down in Detroit doing all the Super Bowl media day and the Super Bowl and everything. And you get around these podiums and lecterns, and there's just a whole horde of people. And I realized real quick, hey, I'm like 6'2", 240. You're either going to make room for me or I'm coming in. And so I did, and because fuck these guys. And you only, and so that, So I'm not afraid to like use my body to get where I need to go. But I don't threaten people.
What the hell's going on at these things?
Yeah. they're kind of fun. If you're a big guy, I often feel bad for.
I'm 6'2", 240, by the way.
For smaller women, I'll hold a recorder for them or whatever. Because if you're like 5'3", 100 pounds, these are not easy things. If you're up, it's one thing for me to feel all of Fred Human, but if you're a lot smaller, that's a daunting situation. I mean, I felt all of Fred Human.
It's got to be a life-changing thing for you if you're that small.
Yeah.
To feel all of Fred Human.
Get stuck under an arm.
And then you have Graham Couch. I can grab it for you. Here, let me, do you need a booster? What the fuck is this guy, dude? He's a real person, I swear. All right, David Jackson, am I the only one who sees that there's usually a high correlation between elite free throw shooting and the ability to hit the three-pointer at an acceptable level? Can or will Fears become a 38% plus three-point shooter? He was 32.1% last year. I say yes. What about you?
Well, yeah, I mean, there are people who think that, and the fact that he was such an effective free throw shooter means there's nothing wrong with his motion. I mean, I remember watching him in high school hit deep threes. I mean, I think what happened to his legs slowed that process down because he lost some lifts and all that sort of stuff. But I think he can improve in that area. The question is always is, can you improve well enough for people to defend you, because that changes some things. And, I remember talking to Keith Appling about this when Keith Appling was sort of on the fringes of the NBA, and I think if things hadn't gone south for Keith Appling, he might have made it. Yeah. But one of the things he really liked about the NBA, because Keith Appling was really quick, right? Obviously,
he was the man.
And when you have the NBA court, because of the 3-point line being extended, is just there's more space to drive, there's more space to operate. The NBA was built for a guy like Appling. So whether it's I think for Fears, yeah, you want to be the guy who can knock down open threes. I think he'll be able to do that to some level. But his strength is still going to be creating for himself or others on the drive, running the show, defending like a dog as a backup point guard, most likely in the league, being a rotation guy. But having a serviceable jump shot to a certain extent matters. It matters for MSU, but it'll matter for his future for sure.
We should definitely get a story on Keith Appling soon, right? Just what's going on? What's he about?
He's in jail.
I understand, but I mean, what are I don't know. Just bring up Keith Appling and it makes me sad.
Yeah.
Anyway, David Jackson, do you agree that the Tigers simply must part ways with Torkelson? We can't afford that kind of black hole in the lineup at a position like first base.
What do you think?
I mean, Torque, there is possibilities we've seen it from Torque. Out of all the guys we're talking about, Torque, though, that need to go, I don't know. I feel like Torque could still do some damage. I don't know. It's just really because everything is ass.
Well, the hard thing is he's a pretty. He's making like $4 million this year.
Is he? Yeah,
it doesn't make much, so he's not.
But you can't wait around for Torque forever, I guess, too. But I just feel like there's so many other guys. Ibanez. I mean, really, Zach Short. What are they doing?
Yeah,
is all before you get to Torque is all I'm saying. I'm not saying you can't eventually get to Torque and we go, okay, we're sick of him. But right now, as we stand, it's like as we're talking, I just can't do it.
I don't think you're going to do it this year. Now he hits arbitration after this year again, and then he's got another year of that, and he's an unrestricted free agent in a couple years. I do not see Torkelson being like a long-term guy on the Tigers, but I don't see he is a guy. It's not like Flaherty where I'm like, what are they doing throwing him out there every 5 days? You telling me there's nobody? I mean, if you just look hold on, give me some Hoff. Freaking A.
Wow, he's pissed.
Really good penis. And I do hear your voice in my head when I take the shit. I see the stars come out of the sky.
Come on. That's crazy.
It looks so good tonight. All right. So this is Flaherty's last. This starts by date.
Oh, this is about Flaherty?
This is Flaherty.
Okay.
But okay, so last outing, 6 innings pitched, so he gives them some length, 4 earned runs, right?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Let's go the one before that. He goes 3.3 2/3, 3 earned runs, 6 hits, 5 innings, 2 earned runs, I guess 4 runs. Before that, 3 2/3, 4. Before that, 2 innings pitched, 6 earned runs. Before that, 3 1/3.
The listeners have stuff to do eventually, Grant. We know he's ass. We get it.
But I'm just saying that like, how do they not have somebody somewhere who's worth looking at better
You
than
would
that?
think so.
Yeah.
But you're paying him $20 million, so you got to get a value because Ilitch, Chris Ilitch tells you so.
Is that value? Because to me, if I'm not saying you cut him, if I'm paying a guy like that, I'm not cutting him. But what I would tell him is, you're going to be our long relief guy when shit goes haywire.
Why?
Because
he doesn't want that either.
I don't care.
I think he'd rather
you're
be
under
DFA'd.
contract. Well, then give us the money back. So what I would say is, we're going to pitch you, and unless you get better, and if you get better, that's fine. But say you get off to a start where you're down 6-0 after 2 innings, we're not wasting any more pitchers. You're going to pitch innings 3 through 9, whatever the ERA, whatever happens. You're just going to take us home. That's the only way I would use him the rest of the way.
Last one from David. Jason shocked me with his Edward G. Robinson gangster impersonation earlier this week. It was very entertaining and much better than his Aussie Jason voice. But I ask, did you both even know that your gangster voice was Robinson's? Jason watches 1930s Warner Brothers movies? Oh, I know. The Aussie isn't very good, David, because it's just, oh, I know, mate. Oh, David, mate. Oh, no. I don't have anything else. Steve Irwin, mate. Do it for Steve Irwin.
Did you know that you were
No, see? Because I'm not 70. I'm still 47. Not geriatric. Not on the AARP. Ralph E. next. On Sunday's MSU Board of Trustees meeting, in my opinion, the board proactively took a stand to keep President Guskowitz by changing their ethics policies so to show support as well as doubling his low salary. Word on the street, he was recruited by 2 universities. So being proactive to keep him was correct. MSU can't afford another search right now. The negative effect of losing him would hurt the university and athletics far beyond that salary increase. Imagine having to go through that again. Word is that was reaching out is one that was reaching out is 45 miles southeast of EL.
Adrian College, huh? That's interesting.
Hey,
I don't even know who's 40. I mean, Ann Arbor's 60, by the way.
Listen to this guy.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about Michigan.
Concordia. Maybe Concordia. I
this guy keeps going.
Sorry.
Fucking dude.
Yeah, no, look, we talked about the $2 million for a school president when you're paying probably that amount of money for
But if he ends up leaving, though, no one gives a shit.
Oh, it makes a big difference.
I'm saying fan base. Fans.
Oh,
guys like me. Like if Guskowitz all of a sudden leaves for somewhere,
the reason Jay Batt came to MSU was Guskowitz.
Okay.
So you might. I'm saying the whole thing starts to the alignment, and the reason they were able to get Fitzgerald, and we don't know if Fitzgerald's going to work out, but the whole thing is these guys together right now, and you don't want to lose Guskowitz. You don't want another search, they've gotten this wrong several times. I would try to keep him. I mean, and I understand that it's not the optics aren't great when they're the finances are what they are in universities, but that's a college problem throughout the country. There's so much less money being given to these schools by the state that they're suffering. But you need smart people to figure that out and put you in good spots. But
it's just weird when the president gets a 100% pay increase, and then the board of trustees are told that if you say anything bad about certain things, that you're going to have your tickets pulled or whatever.
It's more about once things have been voted and once things have been agreed upon that everybody's moving in the same. I mean, I don't know that.
You still can have an opinion on it. If you vote and you're outvoted, you can still. I feel like if you were interviewed after the fact, you can state your case on it.
I'm a little torn on it because I don't think this is how universities should have their board of trustees. It shouldn't be statewide elections. Maybe you have 2 come from a statewide election. Some come from governor appointment. Some come from faculty elections. So it might be a faculty rep. You'd have a student rep on the board of trustees. You'd build your board of trustees differently. You certainly wouldn't do it the way it is because this hasn't worked for a long time.
Bartholomew, do you buy into the conspiracy that Izzo ruined Jaden Akins by preventing him from playing point guard at MSU, given his huge success at the position in the G League?
I always thought Akins, I was curious about seeing Akins play some point guard and wondered if there wouldn't be some opportunities. But when it wasn't until the end of his career where you saw the ball in his hand a little more and he looked okay with it there. I do wonder if he'd gotten that opportunity earlier. He certainly, I think, wanted that opportunity earlier. And some of it is, they do have time to work on this stuff in the pro game different than the college game. There are advantages. When pros say they can develop guys, Bryn Forbes gets signed by San Antonio, the Spurs, and Popovich, that rookie year, he plays half his games down in Austin in the G League. And when he's in Austin, he's playing point guard. Not so he can be the point guard of the Spurs, but so that he was at least a serviceable ball handler to be able to play at the NBA level. And that did not help their G League team. But if you're a G League team, you can lose all your games because you are in service of the parent club. That is not the way it works in college basketball, and that's the disadvantage. I don't think there's any conspiracy to it. I just think that, and he didn't prevent him, it just wasn't what they thought was his strength. I mean, early on when he was recruited, I thought he was going to be a point guard. I think a lot of people did, but they didn't see it that way, and I think that wasn't because they didn't think, they didn't want him to be the point guard. I think it was because they didn't think that's where his best skill was or whatnot.
Spartholomew, are you guys as relieved as I am that PP Poo Poo Man is off the streets in Canada?
So I saw this story that he shared here.
PP Poo Poo Man.
Yeah.
All right.
I was mostly disappointed that it was on Mid-Michigan Now's website. I hate when I don't like when the LSJ does it either. It's like it's just clickbait stuff for something that's happening in California or Canada. If you read this in if this was in Ontario in the London paper, the Hamilton paper, or whatever it might be, that'd be fine. But this is.
You're saying it's not journalism?
I'm saying.
I mean, PP Poo Poo Man. You have no interest in that whatsoever.
Well, I do, and that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it? Why can't you click on that and still click on other stories that are boring?
Because people don't.
You want people to read.
Because people don't.
Oh, I do.
Do you? Well, you're.
I read PP Poo Poo, and then I'll go over to your guys like what's the budget? What's the budget going on in downtown Lansing?
Well, I
double click on those. I mean, listen, I pay $19 a month for this account on the LSJ. I'm going to get my money's worth. And after I scroll down all these McLaren ads, it's like I have to see some stories.
You are a rare man, and I mean, by the way, if you have somebody like
sounds like my father-in-law.
If you have somebody like the Rube in your life, box of Groovy donuts this weekend. Just let them know you care. And also, by the way, if you're thinking about Father's Day gifts for people down the road, lots of things you can do. We talked about muskox flannels. You can take them out to Front 43 and Cask and Company, anything like that. But, you start your Father's Day weekend with a box of Groovy donuts. It's a heck of it says, I love you. I want there to be joy in your life. And here you go.
Did you tell the people at Cask and Company that people were really interested in the thing we were promoting?
Christmas Eve?
Christmas Eve, yeah. They're like, wait, what? Already?
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, groovydonuts.com to place your order today for Father's Day or any other occasion. And, we've talked about some of the stuff they have going on right now. And they have absolutely, hold on, let me pull this up. Sorry, I just clicked off it accidentally. They have this weekend this creamsicle donut that looks incredible and available this weekend only. Go to groovydonuts.com or swing by either location, Lake Lansing Road in East Lansing and also in Williamston, and also a Neapolitan this weekend as well. But the graduation box, like if you go to groovydonuts.com and go to order, you'll look at their graduation box. They've got the years, they've got a cap and gown. It's a cool way to say, I've been thinking of you, and it's better than you still got to put a little cash in the envelope, but this is a way to say I've been thinking of you at a deeper level.
Hambone 777 of Southern Maine next. Was my Division III softball betting question too niche or too political for the last show? Here's the rephrased one. Will you hook me up with your no touchdowns in the Super Bowl strip mall parking lot bookie you used this year? D3 softball seems to be the only predictions I can ever get correct.
I don't even think he would take your bet for D3 softball. That's not.
He wouldn't give you a number that you'd want to bet.
Yeah, right.
You remember that no touchdown bet. The number was really complete ass. It was wild. It was mind-blowing.
You should be the bookie. You might want to talk to the Rube, who has run a book before successfully.
Give you numbers on softball?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good old days. Bibby. Whoa, shit. Bibby, do you think a majority of MSU basketball fans are out of touch with the new landscape of college basketball?
Well, I don't think so. They want Izzo to buy players and get elite transfers.
Buy? What do you mean?
They want elite transfers, right? Yeah, I don't think they're out of touch.
We can't buy any more players because Guskowitz got $1 million.
I think college basketball. I think the landscape's out of touch with the true finances of college basketball, which are unsustainable, which is a niche sport, which doesn't bring in that much money.
Because football's sustainable, talking about $40 million rosters.
Yeah, that's a whole separate issue, but at least there's a lot of revenue being generated there. Basketball needs to get over itself a little bit.
All right, Scotty Green's El Camino. What is your perfect Memorial Day?
Perfect Memorial Day, Jason.
Well, Therese is out of town.
Oh.
So I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't really have any big Memorial Day. Is there any sports on? Maybe a little golf? Watching. I mean, pretty much what I do anyway. It's hard to say. Like, I don't have a special. Chip some golf balls in the backyard, get the patio furniture set up, Some fun. I don't know. I'm old and boring now.
Yeah.
It's not fun anymore.
For me, it's just have Cora sleeping on my chest, box of Groovy donuts to my right, and maybe a trip out to Front 43 a little bit later. Put the air conditioning on at some point. Put a muskox flannel on. Get cozy. It'd be that's the day right there.
So what would happen if you had a Groovy donut and some like icing got on, like it all of a sudden dripped down on Cora's forehead?
Oh,
and then Elizabeth woke up. No. And she was coming in. Would you all of a sudden lick it off your kid's forehead?
We spill food on her all the time. It's mostly Elizabeth who eats over her. But I've definitely.
So that's why you're in love with this whole having a kid this age thing.
Yeah, I mean,
hell yeah, you can be yourself now.
You try to put a napkin over their head, but sometimes the food, because you have to eat at some point. Sometimes it's like, all right, we're eating. You try to stay away from certain foods that are like, okay, this is going to get sloppy, this is going to get ridiculous. But
you can't put a kid in the seat thing, or
you put them.
Where do you put the kids?
The seat thing, the bassinet.
Yeah.
The seat thing. I would love. Where's that freaking seat thing?
Listen, like I say, when I visit kids like Jordan, Sam, and their baby Stevie, like I sit down, put the kid in my arms. I don't want to, I just don't. Yeah, put it in the seat thing. Keith Stupera, I used to be so excited for the NBA playoffs. So many great rivalries and personal rivalries inside the game. Now it's a bunch of fruity dudes pulling hair and flopping.
I still think like the San Antonio Oklahoma City series is a lot of fun to watch.
Keith. We had a gift card.
So you're not enjoying the Spurs Thunder series to this point?
No,
I think they've been great.
No, I mean I like watching Wemby. I'll have it on the second TV, but I can't watch SGA every time flop. Harden, just these things. It just I don't know. The Pistons really bum me out. I do have them on. I'm not going to say that I don't tune in, but it's more for Wemby, the 7'6" freak, than it is like watching the other guys. Like SGA, like OKC annoys me. Like Chet Holmgren. You know what I mean? A dude named Chet. All right, Joseph Stet's next. Who is Jeremy Fear's agent? Is it Marcus Taylor, Erasm Lorbeck, or Deontay Davis?
I think it's Mike Miller, right? The guy who played against Michigan State in the 2000 National Championship.
Oh, you're being honest.
Yeah, I think that's who it is. I think it's his brother and him. But it is not. You're looking for guy. Look, for a couple things. One, yes, Davis and Taylor should have stayed. No question about it.
Yeah, but Deontay thought, this is before you got paid.
Well, and he had a lot of pressure from family, and he got decent money. He just wasn't ready. It sucked. It's a bad deal for him.
It's that family reunion, like, hey, thanks, guys. Bastards.
Lorbeck, though, at one point, and I did a piece on Lorbeck during COVID. I did like a catching up with thing. It was great because we did a Zoom, and he was overseas. I think he lives in Madrid or Barcelona or something. Anyway, he had his Michigan State jersey on when we did the Zoom, and he was real excited to do it. But I remember at one point he made the most money of any player in Europe for a year. Like he made like $8 million in 1 year, and so like he did fine. He did fine.
Does there need to be an investigation then in this European money? Like where is that? Who has $8 million to pay a Erasm Lorbeck? Like how do you get your ROI? Like what do you?
Hold on, give me some off.
No way. Getting lats.
Shake a tail feather. Oh no, I heard them bad boys coming. Can't stop now, gotta continue my running. Yeah, cause we gonna party till the lights come on. And if my song stop, fuck it, cause my mic's still on. Yo, I'm the big booty type, I like them thick with they mind right. Bang them personality, conversate when the time right. I'm not hard, I got women to handle that. They be like he the man when I'm really a Thundercat. Come on, you know the ticks connect like Voltron. Collect so much grass, people thinking we mow lawns. My coal hounds don't match that, but it matches her head wrap and the seats that I got in the lack. I'm just a juvenile, cause I be about G's. Keep the women wheezy me, they say they have my babies. I'm young like Turk, I like the cash and the money. And I'm not poor.
All right, I'm struggling to find the thing.
What are you trying to find? Like,
anyway,
are you Pablo Torre? Are you trying to investigate this European guy that paid him $8 million?
No. I'm just
like we say all of these things about European basketball, and then I'm sorry, I have a question. Like,
yeah. No, but it was for a big club. It was like Real Madrid or somebody like that.
How big?
Barcelona. Yeah, those are big clubs.
Bigger than what? Bigger than the NBA teams? They're worth $8 billion?
Well, they're worth a lot.
To have $8 million.
He was playing in the second best league in the world, pretty much. I mean, for a long time. And you
don't question that at all. You don't go, wow, where does this $8 million come from?
No, they're packing arenas. No, it's a big deal. Yeah.
How big of – okay. Bob in Fort Myers, Jeremy Fear is still in the draft as of May 22nd, has me very concerned. He's not coming back to EL. Greg Williams laying off 2,500 workers has me very concerned. MSU will never see that $401 million pledge. And I read that story too. The 2,500 workers.
Yeah, well, it's supposed to be his money, not the Acrissure's money. So the pledge is, I mean, obviously it's a pledge. So if the money isn't there, things can always go wrong. But I wouldn't conflate the two things. I think Fears is coming back. I have all along. I think, obviously he would like to be in the NBA, but I would be surprised. I think Fears is a smart guy who ultimately, is going to come to the realization that his best chance to be an NBA player for the long term and his best financial decision will be to be at MSU for next year. But, again, the thing that would change that to me is a promise he feels he can trust. If a team says, we have the 27th pick, and if you're available, we're going to take you, and you trust that. Now, teams lie to guys sometimes with that stuff, but that's the sort of thing that would I think, sway him.
Cooper, when is it appropriate to start the July topics? Before or after the Tigers trade Skubal for a bag of balls and a fringe top 100 prospect?
Are we not in July topics right now?
Dude,
we just did 6 straight
month.
soccer. Yeah.
Full month before July. We're already banging them out.
Yeah.
It's going to be brutal.
Yeah. Skubal it'll be very interesting to see the trade deadline. If he's back already and they're like 10 games below 500, you try and get something for him now.
Is it interesting at all, like how quickly he's coming back? I was watching Cody Stavenhagen was sitting there watching him, throw bullpen. Skubal throw a little bullpen session. And I find it very interesting with the rest of the roster who, if they have any little hangnail or whatever, they're on a 60-day IL. And if you ask Hinch about it, it's like, wow, we've taken 2 steps forward and 4 steps back. But then when Skubal, who's in a contract year, has loose bodies, and it's just one of the most miraculous comebacks of all time.
What's amazing is he pitches like every 6 days, and somehow they're 2-14 since he got hurt. It's like their soul died. I don't know.
Okay. Steve, how about a Couch in the Rube Summer Golf Tour? Loyal listeners invite either or both of you for 9 to 18 holes at the local course. We'll volunteer for first tour stop in West Michigan area. Okay. Steve, did you hit me up last year? I think I forgot to, Hit me up, man. We might be able to do that. Like, how far do I have to drive? What are we talking? How far is West Michigan? What is he talking about?
Yeah.
2 hours? I don't know.
So we just go and play with a couple people at a time. Because the problem with an outing is, an outing can be fun. It takes some organization, right? But if people are, 2 at a time, I don't mind.
If anybody wants to golf with me, hit me up. We can probably figure something out.
Yeah.
Unless you're Jay Riemenschneider.
I love you, Jay. Jay, I will golf with you. And only
that would
you.
be the one where it's
only
like,
you.
Yeah. And Dark Mantonio. Frank Vagner next. The Tigers are ass. Maybe even Colorado Rockies level ass. But Scott Harris is a pansy who refuses to make necessary moves. And from Matt Salisbury, do you think A.J. Hinch wants to kick Harris in the balls? He couldn't have been okay with this offensive lineup. I understand injuries, but it's not like they are missing Bonds on steroids. And from Pat Fitz, didn't know. If the Tigers are this bad and they still don't trust some of their AAA players enough to shake up their roster, how in the hell does Scott Harris still have a job?
Yeah, they're going to point to the injuries. It's going to be frustrating. And it does make for an interesting offseason, but it's a wasted year. And that's what sucks. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of our time. It's a waste of a year. And yes, the injuries are a big part of this.
The Tigers are number one in injury 100%, percentage, the 100%. Point system, whatever they do now. They are number one.
The problem I have with this is if they say, well, it was injuries last year, so we basically got to run it back and find out. No, this was the year to run it back. Certain guys didn't develop. They weren't available. Availability is sometimes your best skill. If you can't get guys to be healthy, you don't get to see next year. Well, let's see if – no. This wasn't enough. And look, when they lose Skubal, the dynamic of things will change a little bit anyway. So I think, and they do have some good young players coming up. But, people are going to lose patience, and Harris is going to be in the crosshairs, I think, more than anybody. Because, their payroll really is – Ilitch has been a frustrating owner, but their payroll really isn't that low right now. It's Harris's choices that seem to be the problem.
Alan Pearlstein next. With each increase in college playoff participants, both in football and basketball, the regular season gets devalued a little bit more. Is there anything that can be done to maintain and or improve the significance of the regular season in this era of bloated postseason play?
Yeah, I mean, the thing you have to do is you have to make the playoff positioning and the buys and who's playing at home all be determined by regular season games, and not just and so that's and you can have a committee do that, but ultimately too, if you finish ahead of somebody in the Big Ten, maybe that matters, or ahead of, I don't know, I don't think it will, but ultimately you have to make sure, however it's set up. And again, I still think this is the wrong thing to do, but I'm just saying if it's going to be 24 and it sucks already, and we're trying to make the best of suck, you want to find a way to make there be the most value in the positioning in the playoffs. So if you've got certainly a bye weeks matter, you want a couple rounds at home, and home games matter to try to create a regular season that still has great meaning. But that's what you got to do, I guess. And I guess. Money bag. Did you read the Ross Dellinger article about NIL earlier this week? I know Couch did. The Ohio States and Michigans of college football guaranteed way more money to players than the clearinghouse allows. And the discussion is about changing the rule rather than enforcing it. Who could have seen that coming? Yeah, it's ass. Because ultimately, if you look, you can argue that the House settlement's irrelevant anyway, and they shouldn't have done it. And there's a lot of things that are at issue. But if you ultimately choose a rule that you want, but you don't have the discipline yourselves to follow it, because in a competitive landscape, everybody's so greedy anyway, and it is frustrating to watch. I did read the article, or at least scan through it, and it's. You read the tea leaves. Yeah, I scanned it. I read most of Ross's stuff. I'm on paternity leave right now, so I'm not like dialed in, the way I would be. Not that I'm ever dialed into the way I should be. But thanks, Cora. Yeah, damn it, Cora, you're not laser focused. No. But is boring. That's right. To your point, I did scan it, and yeah, I mean, all this is predictable. The thing that's most predictable, that's most frustrating to me, is that it's very clear that the Scores Act and all that stuff is not going to come. The Congress is not going to fix this, and nor should they really. But so many smart people in college sports thought that they might, and there was so much wasted money on lobbying to get it to happen. You could have saved all the tennis programs in the freaking world forever if you just didn't waste money on lobbyists for the Scores Act and other stuff with Congress. And there's so much wasted money. And, ultimately, what's going to happen is always the top programs that have money are going to create rules or situations that allow them to spend it and outspend people. That's what's going to exist now. And so you've got to make sure, if you're Michigan State, that you keep bringing in enough revenue to be in that realm, to be able to compete. I have a question for you. Yeah. So next week we have an intern starting, right? Yeah. If you ask the intern, or you were talking about your article, one of the columns you wrote, and he goes, "Yeah, I scanned it." Yeah. Would you be annoyed or no? No, I'd not really, because what mean you had a subscription? I just wondered what you'd think of, like if someone told you they scanned, if Ross, maybe Dellinger. It's like, "Oh yeah, Grandma, I saw you wrote a piece on that. Yeah. I scanned it." Is that like offensive to you guys or no? Most people, the research is most people just scan your stuff anyway. Like you spend all this time like haggling over sentence construction, and then people are like, "I scanned." So you skip right to the third paragraph, right? Is that what you're saying by scan? No, you go down quickly. That's why you put like one of the reasons your prediction ones. I just scroll all the way down. Correct, right? But one of the reasons the quick takes are popular is because they're putting in 3 separate bullet points. All right, I don't have any interest in this. Oh, this I do. This, it allows people to get to things and read it and consume it. Gotcha. Easily. And all right, yeah, that's what I was Money saying. Bag. What's the latest on the $11.5 million investigation that was supposed to be released in January? No findings from the law firm with a long-standing relationship that also happens to be full of Michigan grads. Feels like it'd be a bigger story locally if it was us. Yeah, I don't know what the latest is on that. Welcome to the blue wall. I'm not saying it's irrelevant to my life, but it's not what I cover. He's not laser focused. Oh, and I'm not focused. He has a child now, so I do feel a little bad this summer. I feel like we're going to keep doing this show. Yes, I hope so. Yeah, but what I mean is, even when I'm on these paternity weeks, so like I'm paying a lot less attention to things. And when I'm on, like, I can't, like.
How about you pay a little less attention to soccer?
I can't do that.
No. Okay.
Yeah. So I do feel a little bad on some of that. So like, sometimes there are questions that anyway, I will fix this in post. I don't want to admit this stuff. I'm sorry.
Original Dark Mantonio, Sharon Moore's affair went on for years and lots of people knew. Do you think the quirky, religious, super focused on football only Jim Harbaugh knew and just ignored it? Or do you think he was completely oblivious to it because his focus was elsewhere and he wouldn't want to know?
I think he had an inkling. I think Jim Harbaugh's weakness is running an organization. I think he's a great football mind. I think he's not somebody you'd want to hire to run to really. He's not Nick Saban in terms of that sort of stuff, of every detail of the organization, of knowing everything that's going on and having.
But I think Harbaugh knows, but then claims he doesn't.
Well, yeah, that too. I don't think he's honest.
He's like, tell me, but I'm going to act like I don't know, and you guys are going to act like I didn't know.
Yeah, I don't think,
which
he's
is pretty
genius.
Honest.
Yeah, I don't.
Better than what Saban does, in my opinion.
He's got that gaping mouth thing that works for him. Like, well, I don't know. He's got a stupid looking face.
All right.
Didn't say that.
All right. Original Dark Mantonio, you always bring up reporters not doing their job by not asking the tough questions about realities of NIL. Have you asked it? And if not, why not? Do you not want to upset the blue wall, the green wall, or whatever colored wall you encounter?
No, this is a fair question. And it's something I've sort of come to of late, really late, sort of the end of the year moving forward, is like, why aren't we, as this moves forward and the money that's being spent on these guys outside of the House settlement and the $20.5 million or $21 million that'll be next year, whatever it might be, is that money's clearly not like legitimate endorsement money. Why aren't we at least asking what's the mechanism? And I've talked to Izzo about this a little bit. Most of it, not on record, but like he'll tell you none of it's legitimate, like commercial wise. Like it's not like these guys are on on some major national commercial that's paying them all this money. He knows it. They all know it.
The urinal or portal.
It's the system that's in place, and they're going to use the system that they're allowed to use. I mean, but I think having an explanation of that system, so we all understand that, like these, media rights deals within the schools, these media partners are how this money sort of funneled. I think we should have a clear explanation of how that's happening. And it's something I will start to ask, and I think it's something that every reporter should start to ask, so that we all understand it, and readers understand, you understand, fans of the team understand how this is happening. We should be asking.
Hans Jurgen, Graham, have you ever had a fresh, right out of the fryer glazed donut? Nirvana.
I've had a lot of fresh Groovy donuts. One of the great things about Groovy donuts, unlike a lot of places that don't make them on site, is they are fresh and they are on site. Look, because like a stale Groovy donut, a day-old Groovy donut, still as fresh as most places' fresh donuts, right? It's still fantastic. But a fresh Groovy donut, you can tell the difference. I've had many, and it's a very pleasurable experience.
Hans Jurgen, if I ever come to one of your live shows, should I be wearing a Mexican wrestling-style mask?
We would appreciate that. Then we would know it was you. So please, yes.
Well, we're never going to have another live show. So
everybody has their price.
Hans Jurgen, I saw 18-year-olds playing blackjack at the casino on my vacation, and my faith in humanity was restored. 18?
What's the usual age at a casino? 18, right? 21?
I thought it was 21.
That's 21, yeah.
I haven't shown my ID for something like that in a long time, so I don't know. Hans.
Wait, how old were you when you went with your parents and you had to stay upstairs?
I was 19. And that's terrible.
That's when you ordered the hooker, that one?
Yes.
Okay.
I ordered the hooker. I tried getting booze. It was all like, I'm like, why am I here? It's the biggest dick tease on the planet.
Yeah.
Of course I had to get a hooker. Hans Jurgen. Seriously, why is Will Vest on the team? All he does is blow saves. Bring on an expert.
Will Vest is not their problem. He's not had a good year, but Will Vest.
He's a part of it, though.
Yeah, but bullpens, one year to the next are hard to. Will Vest is not my issue with the
sound
Tigers.
like Scott Harris. I don't like that.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Bullpens
are tricky. It's like AJ Hinch and Scott Harris.
Scott Harris's voice in my head sounds like your Coach K.
No.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
You want a third baseman that can hit? No. Right-handed batting? No. Jake Hoggins, how was that, David Jackson? If Jeremy Fears decides to leave, do you think Izzo's mindset about wanting to stick around and coach will change big time?
No, because this is Izzo's dealt with this for a long time, and
Fears is coming back. So.
But even so, he doesn't mind. This is the natural order of things that Izzo wants. Developing NBA guys is fine. Guys who leave for the NBA who've created opportunities for themselves. He wasn't upset when Jace Richardson left. Thought it was a good decision. He had a few guys who've come back that have really helped them. But overall, when this is not. If he thought Fears was making a huge mistake, if this was Deontay Davis or something like that, it'd be different. But no, that's not. This is not the sort of thing that's going to drive Izzo away. This is very different than the stuff, because this has been happening to Izzo's program, the whole time he's been the coach, or at least after the first couple of years. And this is, while it can be frustrating or it can limit what your next team could be, it's not uncommon or the part of the sport that bothers him.
Next one from Jake. Thoughts about Tony Petitti being hell-bent on expanding the college football playoff and sticking to his guns on making 2014.
Yeah, it's ass. It sucks. I mean, it just does. I mean, I've had issues with other Big Ten commissioners at times. We all know that. But
Delaney
at least I think had a lot of good ideas.
But like you said, Petitti, make a case for it.
Yeah.
You can't just say, "Oh, it's good for TV. We're going to make a lot of money or something." I mean, is he even saying that?
I just haven't seen a good case for it anywhere.
Right. Next one from the Hawk. What are your guys' honest thoughts about the Tigers?
Not great. It's a lost summer. Big fella. Lost summer. And that sucks. It just does.
What are we supposed to talk about?
World Cup, baby. Me. Yeah. A lot of soccer.
This is going to be a soccer pie. I can't do it.
We got tennis and soccer.
Fuck. This is so brutal. I'm going to have to be on ADMGs for these shows. I'm going to have to dose myself.
People appreciate that, actually, when you do that.
No, dude, no. It's not. No. It was terrifying, man. Jake Hoggins, when Cora is a little older, will you and Elizabeth still have her watch Disney classic movies despite speculation on their real meanings? Example. Peter Pan is a bad guy / child molester, and Captain Hook tries to save the Lost Boys, and Alice in Wonderland is a drugged-out state of mind.
We'll let her watch just about anything that's over 30 minutes. Our big thing with Cora is going to be attention span. We don't want any of these clips. We don't want any of the. We want her to be able to think and sit and enjoy things. So, obviously within reason. But if it's over 30 minutes, we'll
like at her age now.
No, but just even as she's growing up.
Oh, so you're making this proclamation like for when she gets older?
Yeah.
Oh,
she may hate us for certain things, but she's going to be a more.
One of you is going to have to be like bad
well-rounded.
Cop. Is that going to be you, or are you going to be like?
We're pretty firm on a couple things on this. We may argue over certain things with her, but in terms of giving her a 90s childhood,
she's not going to have a phone till she's 18.
At least.
By the way, one of the best Jake Hawkins questions of all time. Upper Deck Jerk Guy, is it really a good idea to add commercial structures in the middle of campus to support a football team who really hasn't been nationally prominent for 60 years?
Well, I've been nationally prominent like 10 years ago for about 6 years. So they've been nationally prominent. And they've been, but I know what you're saying. I mean, the bottom line is major college athletics should not exist, period. But we all love it, right? And we're into it. And it's none of this is a really good idea. I mean, yeah. So no, yeah, you're right.
Upper Deck Jerk Guy, what Detroit sports team wins a championship next, and when will it happen? The Lions, Super Bowl.
This February.
Fuck.
I think the Super Bowl's in March.
Yeah.
At this point, yeah. It's like right around the Final Four. So don't screw up the NCAA tournament now. You're up against the Super Bowl.
And lastly, the Jerk Guy. When was the last time you had gustatory rhinitis?
Oh, fuck. I'll look this up.
I'll give you some lats.
This is what I see. Everybody stops and they staring at me. I got passion in my pants and I ain't afraid to show it. Show it.
All right.
I'm sexy and I know it.
Come on.
Gustatory rhinitis is a non-allergic condition where eating particularly hot or spicy foods triggers a sudden watery runny nose.
Get up. Get into it, guys. Come on. Check it out.
It's actually happening to be
my favorite part.
Pretty recently.
Wiggle. Yeah.
I overdo it on spicy foods. I think I like spiciness more than I do. So, yeah, that's
noted.
Yeah, we appreciate all of you for sticking with us, especially after my open and throughout, really. Thank you for producing our show and listening. We'll be back next week. We got to figure out with Memorial Day whether it makes sense Monday, Tuesday. We'll be back early next week. And yeah, we'll get into your takes and ours as well. We appreciate our friends at Firekeepers and the Firekeepers Casino and Sportsbook app. Download the app today. Bet what we're betting this weekend. Bet your own stuff. Do it responsibly. We appreciate Groovy Donuts. Go to groovydonuts.com or either location, Lake Lansing Road in East Lansing, or also in Williamston, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. Thursday through Sunday. Good show, man.
Yeah, man.
Couch in the Roof.